What if you've been calling it strength your entire life when it was actually survival? Think about it. If you grew up in the 1970s, nobody taught you how to talk about your fears. You learned to hide them. Nobody came to rescue you. You learned to rescue yourself. Your therapy wasn't a therapist's couch. It was a stingy splash of Bactine and a steel bicycle with zero brakes. We are Gen X, the feral, forgotten generation. And that's exactly why, even today, you find it so hard to slow down, so hard to trust, so hard to ask for help, because your childhood didn't just shape who you became. It programmed how you survive. Today, we're uncovering 7 hidden psychological traits that still live inside millions of Gen Zers. And by the end of this video, you may discover that the child you thought you left behind never actually left you. Let's start with something most younger people struggle to understand. If you grew up in the 1970s, childhood wasn't carefully managed. It was experienced. Nobody followed you around with a helmet, a phone, or a step-by-step safety plan. You disappeared after breakfast on a heavy steel bicycle, rode it down gravel hills at breakneck speeds, and somehow found your way home when the street lights came on. Of course, things went wrong and you wiped out and scraped your knee raw, but you didn't get an emergency room visit or a therapy session for it. You just wiped the dirt off, applied a stingy splash of Bactine, and got right back on the bike. Your parents weren't being negligent. They were busy working, paying bills, and building a life. They trusted you to figure things out, and little by little, you did, looking back. Many people see that kind of childhood as reckless, but it also built something that can't easily be taught. It taught your brain that problems are meant to be faced, not feared. That pain usually passes, and you are fully capable of rescuing yourself. Even today, when life throws something unexpected your way, your first instinct isn't panic, it's action, and a familiar thought still shows up. I survived worse with less. There was an unwritten rule in many 1970s homes. You didn't talk much about your emotions. If you were scared, anxious, or overwhelmed, you didn't get a gentle sit down to process your feelings. The standard response was usually, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. So you learned to internalize your stress, swallow your fear, and just suck it up. Over time, something interesting happened. Your brain became incredibly good at staying calm on the outside, even when life felt chaotic on the inside. You learned to solve the problem in front of you before you processed how you felt about it. Emotional control became part of your identity, and for years, it was one of your greatest strengths. People admired you because you didn't fall apart under pressure. But now, as many Gen Zers move through their 50s and 60s, that same strength quietly creates a different problem. When stress builds, an aging body, anxiety about savings, marriage problems, your default setting is still to swallow it down. You don't tell your spouse, you don't tell your friends, you certainly don't tell your kids. The problem is that emotions don't disappear simply because they're ignored. They wait. Sometimes they show up as constant worry, sometimes as exhaustion, sometimes as sleepless nights with no clear cause. Real strength isn't pretending nothing hurts. Real strength is knowing when you don't have to carry every burden by yourself. One of the greatest gifts your childhood gave you was the ability to stand on your own feet. Growing up in a world where parents were busy and authority figures told you to figure it out, your young brain formed a core rule. If you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. That mindset helped you succeed. It earned respect at work, at home, from everyone who depended on you. But there's another side to that story. When you spend decades believing that strength means handling everything alone, asking for help starts to feel unsafe, even when you genuinely need it. You convince yourself no one will do it as well as you. You carry the mental load of your career, your finances, your household, alone. And as many Gen Zers enter their 50s and 60s, this hidden habit becomes heavier than ever. Your career demands more, your parents need support, your kids still rely on you, while your own health and future quietly go unattended. The challenge isn't that you're incapable. The challenge is you become so used to being everyone else's safety net that you've forgotten you deserve one too. Real independence isn't refusing help. It's having the wisdom to know when sharing the load makes you stronger, not weaker. Have you ever noticed that even when your life is completely calm, your brain is still searching for the next problem to fix? For many people who grew up in the 1970s, this isn't overthinking. It's a habit your brain learned decades ago. As a child, you couldn't always count on someone else to notice problems before you did. So you became the one who paid attention, scanned for danger, and prepared for what might happen next. That skill protected you for years. It kept you sharp when life became uncertain. But the brain doesn't always know when the danger is past. Sometimes it keeps running yesterday's survival strategy in today's peaceful life. That's why relaxing can feel surprisingly difficult. Your body finally gets a chance to rest, but your mind keeps whispering, "This is too quiet. What am I missing?" As retirement gets closer, this pattern can quietly steal something precious from you. Instead of enjoying the life you spent decades building, you stay trapped in planning, worrying, and preparing for disasters that may never happen. Being prepared is wise. Living as though every day is an emergency is exhausting. Perhaps the greatest challenge of this next chapter isn't learning how to survive. It's teaching your mind that it's finally safe to breathe. There was something about growing up before the internet that shaped your mind in ways people rarely talk about. When school ended, you came home, poured a bowl of sugary cereal, and watched after-school reruns on a heavy box television that took 3 minutes just to warm up. There were no algorithms tracking your attention, no likes to count, no notification bells ruining your peace. If you wanted to see your friends, you rode your bike around the neighborhood until you spotted a pile of bicycles lie on a front lawn. That pile of steel was our social media status, meaning the whole group is inside, come on in. We ate forgotten snacks like Hostess Twinkies, drank water straight from the garden hose, and spent hours at the local mall, which back then wasn't just a place to buy shoes, but the beating heart of our entire social universe. Those quiet afternoons taught you patience. Those long bike rides taught you independence. Without realizing it, your childhood trained your brain to stay present in the real world, not a virtual one. Then the world changed, computers, smartphones, social media turning every moment into something to post or compare. You adapted because you had to, but deep down, part of you still remembers a slower rhythm of life. That's why many Gen Zers still love long drives, gardening, fishing, a paperback, or just sitting outside with a cup of coffee. It's not that you're resisting technology. It's that your mind was built in a world where peace didn't require Wi-Fi. History has a funny way of remembering some generations while quietly overlooking others. The baby boomers reshaped society. Millennials became the generation everyone wanted to study. Gen Z grew up where every opinion could instantly become a headline. And somewhere in between, there was you. You weren't the loudest generation. You didn't expect the world to revolve around you. You simply adapted. You watched the Berlin Wall fall, the birth of MTV, music moved from vinyl to cassette to CD to digital. The entire world rewriting its rules in front of your eyes, and nobody stopped to ask how you felt about it. That neglect actually became your armor. You learned that resilience isn't about being noticed. It's about continuing to move forward even when nobody is applauding. But there's another side to living that way. When you spend decades quietly handling things, people stop asking how you're doing, not because they don't care, but because you become the person who always seems to have it under control. Now, as many Gen Zers find themselves in the sandwich phase, caring for aging parents while still supporting adult kids, the emotional weight can become overwhelming. Everyone leans on you, but who do you lean on? Maybe this chapter isn't about proving how strong you are anymore. Maybe it's about allowing yourself to be seen. If there's one lesson hidden inside your entire childhood, it's this. You spent most of your life believing that strength means handling everything on your own. And to be fair, that belief served you well. It helped you build a career, raise a family, get through setbacks. But every strategy has a season. The habits that protected you at 20 aren't always the ones that serve you best at 60. This next chapter asks something different of you. Not how much you can carry, but how wisely you're preparing for the years ahead. That might mean having honest conversations about your health before problems become emergencies. It might mean actually reviewing your financial plans with someone qualified, instead of assuming it'll work itself out. It might mean accepting support from people who genuinely care about you, not because you become weaker, but because you become wiser. The strongest people know how to stand on their own feet. The wisest people also know when it's time to reach out a hand. You've earned more than another decade of pushing through alone. You've earned peace, real relationships, and the freedom to enjoy the life you spent decades building. If today's conversation feels familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people from Generation X are carrying the same invisible habits they learned decades ago, often without even realizing it. Here on this channel, we explore the psychology behind those experiences, not to dwell on the past, but to understand the future better. If you like more conversations like this, hit subscribe. There are many more stories still waiting to be told. Before we say goodbye, one final thought. Your generation didn't have a perfect childhood. You grew up with challenges many people today would find hard to imagine. Yet somehow, those experiences shaped a generation known for resilience, adaptability, and quiet determination. That's something worth being proud of. But remember, strength doesn't mean carrying every burden forever. Even the strongest bridges need maintenance. Even the strongest people deserve support, understanding, and peace. As you move into this next chapter, don't just protect everyone around you. Protect yourself too. Before you leave today, I want to hear your story. Did you wear the house key around your neck? Did you ride those steel bikes with no helmet? And how are you handling the pressure of the sandwich generation today? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's build a sanctuary here where the invisible generation is finally seen. Like this video if it hit home, and share it with a fellow Gen Zer who needs to hear this today. Until next time, take good care of yourself.